All right, so we have the Six of Swords. This is moving on from something. Moving on from, let's have a look. We've got the Justice card coming up as the past energy. Was there some kind of injustice? And it kind of, when justice comes up, it's implied that there was a sense of injustice. And the scales have now been balanced and you're ready to move on from this. Now, this might be, and now I'm kind of jumping around all over the place, but it's coming through like that. I mean, we've got strong Libra energy coming up. Some of you might be dealing with a Libra or have placements in Libra yourself, right? But with the Six of Swords coming up here, this is done. You're done. I always love how they take the swords with them, and it doesn't always feel very practical, because think about it. I mean, he's got them in his back here, but they're always kind of stuck in the boat, and you'd think, well, isn't that kind of obscuring the view a little bit? I always think this is the lessons that we learn, the lessons that we take with us from the things that we've been through. Yes, we might be ready to move on, but we can't ever, it changes us. Whatever we go through, it changes us. Some of you might be going on a literal journey. This is the journey card. And I always feel like it's moving closer to what it is that we want. Closing the distance between where we are and what we want. And there can be distance between yourself and another person if you live in the same house. It doesn't have to be crossing an ocean to get closer to what you want. But yeah, I do sometimes see this as the long distance relationship card. But we'll see. So there is some kind of journey moving on, shift, change taking place this week. I love it though. We have the Queen of Swords coming up here. And it's, yes, air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. They don't own the cards though, remember. They just lend their characteristics. This is what your focus is on. This is what your focus is on. For some, there's a big internal shift. That's what happens. When I see the Six of Swords and the Six of Swords is moving towards the Queen of Swords, this is towards a new truth, a new you. You might be coming out as someone. Other people might look at you and think, Scorpio, what the hell happened? Who are you? But you're ready to speak your truth now. Whatever you went through, because the Six of Swords implies that, right? And justice also does. Whatever it is that you went through, it's changed you. It's changed you. That's the whole thing with the Queen of Swords. She's gone through a lot of difficult situations, but she's got knowledge from this. She's very authentic. It's that whole thing of, damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive. She's gone through so much. Why would she be afraid to say who she is? What could possibly happen to her? Exactly. What could possibly happen to her that she couldn't deal with? She knows. She has knowledge. And I kind of feel with justice coming up in the past, there's been this kind of balancing of the scales. If there was some kind of injustice, maybe you were treated, something happened in the past that it felt really unfair. You've made your peace with it. That's what I'm getting from justice. Whether you had to go to the courts to do it, whether you've had conversations with this person or, at work or something, whatever it was, you have made your peace with it now. No matter how it turned out, the scales are balanced. You're ready to go forward and you are stepping forward as a new you. So with this powerful energy coming up here at the top, is it any wonder that the card in the present is the Sun? It's the Sun. The blinkers are off, guys. I mean, with the Queen of Swords, she sees everything clearly as it is. Here in the past, like, this person's blindfolded, yes. But, the whole reason for Lady Justice being blindfolded is it's the truth is the truth. That's the whole point. And she's got her sword of truth here as well. But the Sun says that, everything is revealed. We see the potential for great happiness here. That's why we're ready to move on. We don't have to worry about what happened in the past. We don't have to worry about any of that. Because now we can see a path forward, and that's why we're ready to go forward. It might have been that, because this can be last week, last month, last year, right? This might have happened a long time ago. But sometimes we can get over a situation, but it doesn't mean we're ready to move on. We're still kind of in that recovery position, as it were. You're not anymore. Now you're stepping forward in your truth. And the Sun here is powerful. It's absolutely powerful. Everything, we see everything clearly with both of these cards. There's going to be no question marks here. You'll know. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing. I mean, even if you don't know precisely where you're going, you know who it is who's going forward, as in you. You know who you are. What would make you happy? Because we always see the backs of these people, right? So we know what they're leaving behind. They're moving away from us. We don't really truly clearly see what's coming up ahead. But they know what they're not going back to. And that's the sun. Some of you might be headed off, like, because I said that could be the travel card. You're kind of headed off to the sun, in destination in the sun. It could be. Some of you might be going overseas for work. We have the Eight of Pentacles coming up after the sun. But I want to say this, with the sun coming up in the present and seeing this potential, it's about then making it work. I mean, I don't want to do the whole kind of rainbows and unicorns thing and say, oh my God, like, you know, every wish you ever had, Scorpio, is going to come true. I mean, life never works out like that. Even if you win the lottery tomorrow, then it's like, what am I going to do with the money? How am I going to save it if I'm going to move? Like, do you see what I mean? There's always something that we need to do, some effort that needs to be put into a situation. It's just whether we enjoy it or not. And with the Eight of Pentacles, this guy does enjoy the work that he puts in. Some of you with that Queen of Swords coming up here, this is a new, I mean, this is the apprenticeship card, right? We're learning something new, but it feels like with her coming up here, you've got mastery over this. You're taking it to some next level. You're stepping forward as someone new. And it may be that you take on work that is in line with this new person that you are. He is very focused on the pentacle in front of him, always. Even though he's created so many, he doesn't really know what's happening outside. He's just focused on what he's doing. Why? Because he knows where he's headed. He knows the result of this. You kind of feel like you're back in the driver's seat. That's what, that driving seat, that's what I feel. The driver's seat, sorry, I can't even speak. But yeah, that's what it feels like. Very strong energies here. We have the Emperor coming up as your advice. Now, anything is possible here. Anything. If you speak your truth, if you take charge of a situation, that's what the Emperor says. He's not afraid to make those tough calls. I kind of get the sense with Justice here that wasn't totally in your control, right? That whatever you were trying to balance out there was someone else involved, something else involved, you know, other parties. Because that's what it's Libra, it's justice, it's our relationships with other people, how we relate to others. That was here. But the Emperor doesn't have to take anyone else into consideration, and he doesn't. So you have Libra here and you have Aries here. That's the we, that's the I. Now, usually, you know, sometimes is a cautionary thing with the Emperor that not to be too stubborn. But I'm not really getting that here. I'm not getting that here. Not with the Queen of Swords here, because that's very much stepping in your truth, being in your truth. And it's moving you forward. And as an advice card, the Emperor is saying, take control of this situation, right? You decide the effort that's going to get put in. You decide what your truth is now, how you speak it. It's a very powerful reading, and I haven't gone into specifics of relationships or what, because you can apply this energy to anything. Half of the cards are major arcana. This is beautiful, whichever way you cut it. You see the potential now. There's a lightness that comes in. I mean, there can be a heaviness here, getting to the truth. There's an injustice. How do we fix this? This is that. This can be amends being made, you know, apologies, or just fairness and balance being restored in the situation. But it's time to move forward, and you know that with the Six of Swords coming up. But you're stepping forward as a new person. And yeah, you know, there's still work involved. There's effort involved in the situation, whether it's relationship, whether it's work. But the Emperor is telling you to take charge of a situation. He doesn't wait for other people to lead the way. He does it. He does it himself. He has to. He's the Emperor. It's his empire. How else would he run it? If he kind of took a, I don't know, did like a census every time and said, oh, what do you guys think? Or like a referendum, what should we do here? He's not going to get very far. And it feels like you've had to do that in the past. You've had to do things by committee. That's what it kind of feels like. But these are two very independent energies. And, you know, if this is a work reading, for some of you, this is going on. You're going forward with a lot more kind of autonomy. He's the boss, right? The father figure, the authority figure in the tarot. So if this is work, maybe you've had to work in teams. Now it's about you stepping up and showing what you can do. You might even be getting promoted to be the boss. If this is a relationship, you know, sometimes we can be in a relationship and we kind of lose our own identity, right? We kind of just become what that person needs us to be. And that's never going to, I mean, that's going to fester all kinds of stuff's going to be festering from that. But this is moving to a place. I mean, if there's been difficulty, sometimes we have to take a back seat. If something's going on with our partner, yes. Things feel kind of evened out now. Now there is potential. Now you know what you're going to do, how you're going to progress on this. And it's standing in your own power. Speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. So that's what I was getting with the Emperor as well. That, yeah, he's a very strong energy. Yeah, he's all about taking control. He's very powerful. But it doesn't feel kind of harsh. There's not kind of like a stubbornness coming in or a harshness coming in here. The tough times or where things were really difficult, they're in the past. But the only thing is, yes, when we authentically become ourselves, and she's very logical, right? She can be emotionally detached. That's the thing with the Queen of Swords. And it's kind of strange saying that to a water sign, right? But you guys can be like that too. You guys can be you can close off and not show how you're feeling because it's about understanding a situation, or you want to express a certain something within that situation. But it doesn't mean we have to use harsh words. And that's why I love this. Speak the language of love. Sometimes we can get further, with honey than we do with vinegar. So let's get you one from the wisdom of the oracle. I actually see this is a very kind of scorpionic energy because it's very similar to the judgment card. And we are flexible. This one's been coming up quite a bit. So it feels like there was a situation that you thought it was done. It's very much like judgment, right? There's about second chances, regeneration, rebirth in a situation. And yeah, some of you're reborn as someone new. I was saying that at the beginning. Remember that some people might get a shock thinking, oh my God, what happened to Scorpio? Because you were kind of tied up here trying to deal with something. Now there's a freshness, there's a lightness, and you're stepping forward confidently as a new you. So this can be, second chances, rebirth, that even when something feels like it's died away, it hasn't. Because we can start something new, right? And this can be the rebirth of our ability to love, to enjoy our work, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be an actual situation that's reborn. But what it's reminding you is to remain flexible. Remain flexible. And that's kind of like the combination of what I was saying about the Emperor and this speak the language of love card. In that you can be firm, and that's what flexible says. Know the things that you won't compromise on, what ground you. But on everything else, you can be flexible on that, right? The kind of example that they always give in this card is the oak tree with its kind of roots in the ground. It's firm, it's grounded, but when the storm hits, and I don't really see kind of stormy energies here, but when it hits, that tree can sway in the wind, so it's not going to topple over. Whereas a kind of more rigid structure like a house or a wall or something, that's going to fall over because it doesn't have that ability to be flexible. So be flexible where you can, but know what grounds you, what your core truth is. And I feel like you've gone through a lot to figure out what that is. That's the Queen of Swords says that she knows what her truth is. Okay, it says, dear you, there is always more than one side to an argument. That's justice. Two sides, if not more, to every story. Sorry. There is always more than one side to an argument. Two sides, if not more, to every story, and hundreds of ways to be right, be different, be at odds, and so on. Today we suggest, instead of looking for differences, you find a meeting place of agreement and approach this experience with understanding and compassion. Seek common ground to understand how another person thinks or how an alternate plan might be laid. Stay out of judgment too. Observe, discern, but accept that others have different stories, experiences, and journeys, and some people might refuse to remain open to another's point of view. No matter what, you've been presented with a great opportunity to explore a new way of doing things once common ground is reached, right? And that's the flexible card. You're attracting people and situations that enrich your life and bring you wonderful things to learn. We love you so much. At the end of the day, all you can do is stand in your truth. That's what I was saying, that the deal breakers, what is a deal breaker for you. And it's standing in your integrity. That gives you great power to authentically be who you are, the Emperor. But on everything else, you can afford to be flexible. I mean, whatever the situation is, whether it's work, relationship, that you're trying to fix or trying to make the most of this potential that's shown here, it is going to take some work. Like I said, it's not just handed to you on a platter. But it gets easier. The Six of Swords is telling you that. You're kind of moving on to this place that's a lot easier than where you have been.